Listen, everybody put your hands together like this. Come on. Yeah. Break it down.
Thank y'all. Do me a favor. Go ahead and put in your city, state that you tune in from. If you are tuned in from not America or outside of America, put in the country. Good evening to everybody. And I'm on time and I'm excited. Hey, I'm happy to be all right as well. Thank you so much. Hammond, Louisiana, York, PA, Philly, Stockbridge. Thank you. Philly, Charlotte, Memphis, Indianapolis, Baltimore, Alameda, Greenville, Houston, Atlanta, Detroit, Denver, Clarkston, Huntington Beach, Durham, Newman, California. Thank you. Odenton, Maryland, Rancho Cucamonga, California, Dayton, Ohio. I appreciate you. Staten Island, the Nassau, Bahamas. Thank you. Charlotte again, San Antonio, Philadelphia, Milwaukee. Thank you so much, Lashina, for tuning in. Maywood, Illinois. Okay. Trinidad always shows me love. Thank you. Glad to be back. I appreciate you, Tiffany, and thank you for all of your support. Fayetteville, city, state, or country. If you're not from America, Grenada. Sorry. Thank you. Chicago. Appreciate that, Sparkling Jewel. Arizona, Tucson. Secure Heights, Ohio, Norfolk, Virginia, Mexico. All right. Chesapeake, VA. Good. Georgia, Mineola, Florida. Thank you so much. The Bronx, appreciate you. Family from the Bronx, Kansas City, Mississippi, Gary, Indiana. Can't talk. Kansas City, Missouri. Today's going to be good. Hampton, it's going to be really good. Hampton, Los Angeles. Hey, City of Oaks, Raleigh. What's up, April? Happy New Year, Atlanta. Chicago. Brooklyn, Greensboro, Washington, D.C., Hampton. Really good. California, Katy, Texas, Michigan, Guam. Appreciate you so much, April. Atlanta, South Hill, Virginia. I know where South Hill is. Hampton, Greensboro, the Philippines. Thank you. A lot of love from the Philippines, actually. Jazz, I was going to say the name. Arlington, Texas, Florida, New York. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate your kindness and just grateful to be back with you in the new year, and excited about tonight's live. This is going to be a good live and a good way to start off 2025. I'm going to be doing a lot of teaching this year on letting go. I already have book number 6, 80% complete, and it's going to be on letting go. So we're not wasting any time. We've been doing a lot of work, and I've got my soundboard ready. I'm a little tired from traveling today, but I did not want to cancel because this is a good time or a good way to kick off the year. But yes, I've got my soundboard, and just give me a second to gather my bearings, and my energy is going to rise up. Yes, I'm on YouTube. We're on all the networks. Do me a favor, share the video if you would. Tonight's not going to be what many of you think it's going to be. It's not. And just an incredible revelation on what apologizing does to your ability to let go. And many people cannot let go of things because they have not mastered the art of apologizing. And this is going to be powerful, and it's going to be a connection that many of you have not thought about. That just really hit me like a sack of bricks a couple of days ago while I was away in New Orleans. Certainly praying for New Orleans in that city. Was there minutes before the whole fiasco took place, and grateful to have missed it literally by 11 minutes. But certainly praying for every family that was involved in that, and praying for that city, and definitely looking forward even more now to going to that city as a part of this tour that we'll be announcing real soon. Definitely looking forward to it. Gonna take a look at the calendar and may even switch. My thought was to be in Houston in March, but I may switch Houston out in March and substitute New Orleans in March to get there sooner, in light of what happened while I was there on New Year's Day. If you looked at my stories, you could see the timestamp. I was actually just videoing some guys on the street dancing, and everybody was getting along that night. It was just a lot of just just positivity, and everybody was getting along, and some guys just dancing on the street, and I just videoed them and happened to be about 304, and then that idiot drove down the street 11 minutes later, right from where we were. And so definitely I've got New Orleans on my mind and gonna try to see how I can move them up in the lineup to get to that city sooner to bring this self-awareness tour there. Do me a favor, like the video, share the video. I've got a lot of announcements. I'll save them for the end. Um, I'll save them for the end, but mainly pressing is New Year Healed Me, January the 8th, 9th, and 10th. The link is in my bio. That course is about 75% full. There might be about 30 seats left. This is a 3-day course, January the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. If you cannot make the times, the recording will be available, I think, for 2 weeks after that course is over. And I definitely want you to consider filling up those spaces next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. There will be no live next Thursday because I will be teaching that course next Thursday night. So I'm not doing that course and this live. So I highly recommend that you take a look at that. A lot of people are doing a lot of things to start off the year. And I'm going to be teaching 3 powerful topics, one of which is going to be on what I call intentional journaling. There's so many different methodologies around journaling and so many different ways that people teach journaling. But I've been journaling avidly now for 7 or 8 years, and I've got a method of journaling that I call intentional journaling that produces results. Because journaling, is given the name, should have some intentionality behind it. And when it's not done with intentionality, it's really something else. And I'm going to talk about that in the course. And so it's New Year. What is it? New Year Healed Me, January the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. And check out the link in my bio. Again, 25 or 30 seats, I believe I have available. And I'm not going to extend that. I want to keep the course relatively small for those 3 days. All right, I've got more announcements. We'll get into that in a second. Couple of quick announcements. Let me thank all of my Patreon and IG subscribers for your support. If you are not subscribed on Instagram, subscribe, or Patreon, I would probably do that right away. This year, all I'm going to do is teach series, and that's it. I'm going to teach a lot of series on my subscriber networks. We did an incredible series in December on attachment styles, and I'm going to do nothing but teach series for our subscribers throughout the entire year. Most of those series are going to be connected to grief, pain, failure, letting go, rebuilding trust, things like that. We've already got a framework of what we're going to focus on for the year. And so if you have not subscribed in that space, do that right away because it's going to be very beneficial. Also, support the show. The ways to support the show should be on the screen. And I want to encourage you to support the show so that we can leave this live up and it can benefit a lot of people. Yes, I've got my soundboard back tonight, and I need the soundboard. Apparently, I think somebody said on Instagram we had a bird in the chat. For many of you that are this is your first time tuning in, welcome. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. We call this Inspire Nation, and so we've expanded that platform to a Facebook community group that is really growing. And but here on the lives, very sensitive to idiots that come in the comments that are rude and disrespectful. And so in the event you see somebody that says something stupid in the comments, and when I say something stupid, I mean just being rude, disrespectful towards me, towards other viewers, you might see a bunch of eagles jump in the comments. Don't be alarmed. Those eagles simply mean here in Inspire Nation, we fly high above birds. And so we're not going to entertain that. And I heard another content creator say something a couple of weeks ago that was powerful. And he said that the content was for him and the comments were for you. And that's one thing I'm just not going to allow myself to get involved with. I might clown every now and then, but I am too tall to go back and forth with some of these idiots on the internet. And so let's keep our chat area very professional. And I want to shout out my moderators for doing an amazing job of making sure that we do that. All right. Like the video, share the video. Tonight's topic, I want you to put it in your journal. You should have a journal. You need some pieces of paper. This is going to be good. Tonight's topic, we are talking from the topic, apologize and let go. All right. I want you to put that in the comments. You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler when you go back to work Monday. All right. Apologize and let go. That's the topic for tonight. Get a journal, get something to write with, and I need you to put on your thinking caps because as my energy comes up, we're going to really get into this in a major way. There is a great connection that I want to bring to you related to apologizing and letting go in your healing journey. And this is what I've discovered. And I knew this really years ago, but it hit me a couple of days ago in a powerful way, and I want to deal with it tonight. That many people really aren't healed, and many people can't let go because many people who aren't healed and many people who need to let go also need to apologize. Absolutely need to apologize. And I'm going to prove it tonight. And this is going to be an angle and a frame that many of you have not considered that might help you to be able to move forward beyond this space of not being able to move forward. All right. And so this is going to be powerful. And I want you to hear me. And you're going to be challenged tonight. Because if it's one thing that I know this culture struggles with, this culture struggles with words like apologizing or apologize. This culture struggles with words like forgiveness. This culture struggles with words like ownership. And I'm going to go into many of these words that you're going to write on your paper. But the reality is, many of you are struggling because you will not apologize. This is the first note I want you to write down, and I want you to remember this. The greatest challenge to letting go sometimes is owning your role in what happened. Sometimes the greatest struggle to letting go of a situation that did not go right or how you feel about a situation is owning your role in what happened. And some of you can't let go because you're being ignorant to your role.
Oh my God.
You're absolutely being ignorant to your role in the situation. Well, Doc, they cheated on me. Well, how many times were you cheated on the last 2 years? 2 times. By how many people? 2 different people. So that means you put yourself in that position twice to be cheated on twice, correct? Doc, you're victim blaming. I'm not victim blaming. I'm saying that 1 time, shame on them. 2 times, shame on me. Maybe I need to pause and reevaluate myself and ask myself, what could I have done differently to not be in that position twice? This is going to be hard because many of you want people to free you, not realizing that oftentimes the first step to freedom is owning your role in what went wrong. And I know this is going to be a hard live. It is. I hope the numbers get up. We're already at right under 500. We're going to get up to 1,000 tonight, hopefully. I know this is going to be a hard life for many of you. But the reality is this generation struggles with owning their role in a lot of the mess they found themselves in. And the reason why my clientele and my books are backed up for months, and it takes people 1, maybe 2 sessions to get to some answers, is because 90% of the work starts with honesty and self-awareness. Honesty and self-awareness. Now, Some of you, I hear you, because some of you will say, well, Doc, I apologize, and they keep doing it. Well, then if you keep apologizing and they keep doing it, then you also keep staying.
Oh my God.
Which goes right back to owning your role in what you are in. Because all you keep doing is apologizing. All they keep doing is doing it. And you keep apologizing, but you also keep staying. This requires honesty and self-awareness. What's self-awareness? You should know this. If you've got the book, you definitely know it. If you've tuned in to a live, you know it. Self-awareness is my definition. Custom definition of self-awareness is simple. It is honesty with who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. Self-awareness, write it down, is honesty with who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. Self-awareness is honesty about who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. So owning your role in anything requires honesty about who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. And regardless of what people have done to you, and I'm not letting people off the hook for the things that they have done to you, but what I'm trying to get many people to realize is that you strip the power of the offender when you learn how to operate in self-awareness. You strip the power of the offender when you learn how to operate in self-awareness. You strip the power of the offender when you learn how to operate in self-awareness, which means when you have stripped the power of the offender because you have learned how to operate in self-awareness, you also then learn how to heal without apologies you may never receive. And this is for all of you that are waiting on people to apologize to you, but they don't even have self-awareness. How the heck can people apologize to you when they're not even honest about what they did? And this thing slapped me in the face a couple of days. Wait, sometimes we want people to apologize to us and they ain't even self-aware about what they're doing.
Oh my God.
But you know what? You know what helps you move beyond that? You strip all of that power when you recognize that self-awareness strips the power from the offender, which means if they never apologize, if you never get the apology you've been waiting on, it won't matter because you're already operating in self-awareness regarding your role in the situation, who you are, where you are, what you've done, so that you will never put yourself in that position again. This culture doesn't get that though. You know why? Because this culture struggles with being honest with themselves. This culture struggles with being honest with themselves. This culture is a talking culture. This culture loves to talk about what they like, what they want, what they're gonna get. Talk. I met so many nice people in New Orleans who walked up to me and introduced themselves between Bourbon Street, between the Pelicans game, just everywhere in the city. And just so many nice people that walked up to me. But I remember one conversation in particular with this young lady. Her and her friend stopped me and they were just asking some questions, really nice ladies. And one of the things that I tried to get them to understand that I think was helpful was that this generation struggles with being honest with themselves because this generation has eyes that are bigger than their stomach. I'm going to explain what I mean. Thank you, Naomi, the G. Are y'all supporting the show? That's a good reminder. Because if y'all don't support, you know the drill. I'm taking it down. Thank you, Naomi, for your support already. I told this group of young ladies, I said, this culture struggles with being honest with themselves because this culture has eyes bigger than their stomach. Y'all know what that means? What that means is, have you ever been hungry or thought you were hungry And then when you saw food, you saw things that you liked, and you just knew you wanted everything that you saw. So you got a little bit of everything, not realizing that once you got the things that you thought you really wanted, and you realized what it was going to take for you to eat the stuff that you got, you really didn't have the capacity to handle what you thought you wanted. This is this generation's perspective today when it comes to a lot of things. And I can go down the list because it's January and it's appropriate. Many of y'all think you want a marriage. You know you don't.
Oh my God.
You don't want to be married. What you want is a wedding. Some of you want somebody to take care of you. Some of you want somebody that you think you can just dominate and tell what to do. And you really don't want the responsibility that comes with being married. Your eyes are bigger than your stomach. That's what this culture is about. And I had to explain to these young ladies, beautiful young ladies, and I had to make it very clear to them that the reality is a lot of women, a lot of men claim to want things like this until it shows up. And then they realize, I can't consume this. Everybody, some of you on this live, have put on your vision board for this year to get a man or a woman. But the reality is, many of you are going to get a healed man or a healed woman right in front of your face, and you ain't going to know what to do with it because your eyes are bigger than your stomach.
Oh my God.
You know why? Because you have a self-awareness issue. This generation has a self-awareness issue. They think they want all of this stuff until it's in front of them, and they realize they don't have the capacity to handle none of that. I told y'all my 100 dating questions ebook is coming up. I did not forget. I really tried to take a break over the last 2 weeks, but I'm going to go ahead and put that out. But some of you are going to read those questions and realize you really don't want no healed man or woman. Because some of y'all, the only questions some of y'all are used to answer are stuff like, what's your sign?
Oh my God.
What's your favorite position?
Oh my God.
What's your shoe size?
Oh my God.
What city you from?
Oh my God.
What's your area code?
Oh my God.
How much money you make?
Oh my God.
And you be the first ones on your stories and on your timeline talking about you want a healed person, you want a healed man, you want a healed. No, you don't. No, you don't. Your eyes are bigger than your stomach. And some of y'all have proved that in 2024 already because you had opportunities that you let go right in front of your face. And some of you are going to have opportunities this year that are going to go right in front of your face. You know why? Because you're struggling with being honest. You are saying you want somebody healed, but the honest assessment is it looks nice, but I ain't quite prepared for the responsibility that comes with being with a healed person. That's the honest truth. Thank you, Ari, for your support. Many of you are saying you want to be with somebody healed, you want to be with somebody that's responsible, but what you really need to be saying is it looks great, but I ain't quite so sure I want to be accountable to somebody else. I ain't quite so sure I'm strong enough to be vulnerable to somebody else. And that's why this generation just talks. Now, I get it. I'm not going to turn this into a gender war because some of you are going to say that the men don't want it, and some of you men are going to say that the women just talking. I'm going to say this to all of y'all. I don't think many of you men and women want it. Not at all. I think this generation is good at posting stuff, but I told this same group of women that this generation is great at posting stuff. We're great at putting up memes. We're great at putting up fantasies. But when you really break people down and get to know them, their eyes are bigger than their stomach. It just sounds good. It just looks good. We say crazy. We say crazy. I see what you're doing for others. Meanwhile, you ain't even being honest about the stuff you ain't doing for yourself.
Oh my God.
No, I'm telling you now, this generation, I told somebody, literally told somebody this week, another person I met, was so very complimentary. Oh my God, Doc, you're just so nice in person. I mean, what'd you expect? I told him, why are you surprised I'm nice in person? And then I said, wait a minute, I get it. Because a lot of people are saying one thing, claiming to believe one thing, doing something else. Meanwhile, some of us, what you see on the camera is what you get in real life. Some of y'all on here know me for real and know this how I talk, this how I get down, this how I live. And let me clarify, when I say this generation, it's simple. Are you breathing? If you're breathing, I'm talking to you. Because sometimes we hear even that phrase, this generation, and we try to just pick on younger people. No, I got a lot of dysfunctional 60 and 70-year-olds on my client list who at 70 refuse to be honest about their role and some of the challenges that they have in their lives. And if you can't be honest about your role in the challenges you're having in your life, whether you're 17 or 70, your eyes are bigger than your stomach. That's why I just laugh. I laugh. Some of y'all men, you don't want no wife, you want a slave. And you post this stuff, you doing content. I had to get somebody together last week. You posting content about healed men this and men this. No, but you living something different. That's simple. Some of you women, you ain't no different. I want to heal man this, I want to heal man that. But then you still want to run the streets and have a hot girl summer. Ain't gonna work. Not with no heal man. You don't want to be accountable and responsible. You want to look nice with a ring on, but you don't want to listen and communicate. And we know this because when a healed man comes in your presence, you don't know what to do with him.
Oh my God.
Y'all not gonna like this. I'm coming out the gate swinging this year. I'm just swinging. That's all y'all do. Y'all talk about this stuff. I want it, but it is because this generation, if you're breathing, I'm talking to you. This generation has eyes bigger than their stomach when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to happiness, when it comes to all types of these things. We think we want this stuff until we count the cost. And let me tell you something. If you're going to heal in 2025, if you're going to move closer to healing in 2025, I want you to put this in all capital letters in the chat. If you're going to heal, the first thing I need you to do, 3 words. If you're going to heal in 2025, I need you to do this. Because some of y'all just talking. Type it in the chat in all capital letters. You want to heal? Count the cost. Because it's going to cost you something. Everybody want to heal marriage. Great. A healed man, a healed woman. Wonderful. Count the cost. Because if it was free, everybody would have one.
Oh my God.
If it was easy, your BFFs would have one.
Oh my God.
You want to heal in 25? You got to do this. Why don't you start right here? Now, this ought to be self-explanatory unless you're just tuning in. If it's not, rewind the tape. You've got to get out of this space where your eyes are bigger than your stomach. And the only way you can do that is by operating in self-awareness, honesty about who you are, where you are, what you're doing. Count the calls. This right here gonna get most of y'all 60% of the way. Because many of you gonna count the cost and realize, maybe I don't want the heal man, the heal woman I thought I did. Maybe I don't want to be an entrepreneur like I thought I wanted to be. Maybe I don't want to fix the trauma associated with my attitude swings the way I thought I wanted to fix them because of all the work I'm going to have to do to stabilize my emotions. Here's the truth. I have about a 93% retention rate when it comes to my clients. I've got 1,041 clients in 40 countries. I have about a 93% retention rate. That's over 9 out of 10 clients come back for more than one session. But can I be honest with you? Some of them don't come back. You know why? Let me tell you why some don't come back. Because I've had some first sessions where I've had to help people do this. I've had to help people do this. Doc, I want to heal relationship. Okay, let's start with fixing your trauma. Let's start with fixing your attitudes. Let's work on you being accountable. You want a healed man, but you work out once every 6 months.
Oh my God.
You want a fit and fine and friendly wife, but every time you put on your belt, you can barely get it zipped.
Oh my God.
No, you don't, because you ain't counted the cost to have it. You know why this is bothering some of y'all? Because nobody's had the audacity to tell this to your face, tell you this stuff to your face. That's why my tour is not called the Dr. Zeb Tour, the Healing Tour. Yeah, you're going to heal, but the tour is called the Self-Awareness Tour. We're going to have talks like this in every city. You want your life to change? Start doing this. You want better relationships? Start doing this, because it's going to cost you something. You're going to have to let go of losers so you can actually get a healed person. It's going to cost you something. It's going to mean some nights you might have to go to sleep by yourself with a pillow between your legs. Rather than waste your energy connected to people that's not what you claim you want to have. It's a whole lot of us woke up on New Year's Day that wished we woke up next to somebody. But here's the thing. Are you going to waste your energy just waking up to just anybody if you really claim you want to be healed? Y'all be talking. It's a whole lot of talkers on social media. It's a whole lot of meme posters on social media. Y'all not about this work. And I'm not talking to you if you ain't got no options, because it's easy to make a sacrifice when don't nobody want you.
Oh my God.
It's easy to say no when ain't nobody asking. It's easy to walk away when don't nobody want to give you none. But if you're going to heal for real, you got to do this. And I'm telling you, many of you, your friends, your family members, your coworkers, your church members, whomever else, many of y'all have settled in 2024. You know why? Because you didn't want to count the cost. And that's why what I'm dealing with tonight about the connection between your ability to apologize and your willingness to let go, and you having the strength to own your role in the situation, is the reason why this is going to go over so many of your heads, is because it takes honesty to do this kind of stuff. It takes honesty to say things out loud like, yeah, they hurt me, but I also settled.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they did what they did, but I also didn't show up as my best on a regular basis.
Oh my God.
And many of y'all can't do that. And you walk around with B and C level relationships and you smiling like you hit the lottery. You didn't. Because you're not operating in self-awareness. So some of us would rather wake up alone every night, not having what we really want, than to walk around with spam and try to make people think it's prime rib. Just the truth. Y'all ain't gotta like it. People be talking this, and some of us be living it. This generation has eyes that are bigger than their stomach. And that's an old saying my grandma and them used to say when we were kids. We claimed we were so hungry and we just wanted everything. I want it. I want it. No, they say, boy, your eyes are bigger than your stomach. You don't really want what you think you want, and you really don't have the capacity to handle what you think you can handle. You know why? Because you're not being honest. You have not counted the cost. And I'm telling you that if you are in a space where you are not healed, you are holding on to some offenses in your life, and you have not acknowledged your role in those offenses, you ain't counted the cost. I don't care what your counselor, your coach, your pastor, your imam, I don't care who told you what they told you. Until you do this and own your role, you'll never grow to be able to heal and to let go. I'm going to talk about what this looks like. Because let me tell you what happens. When you start counting the cost and taking accountability, wait a minute, y'all supporting the show? Y'all support the show. The ways to support on the screen. Y'all see that? Let me tell you what happens when you start taking accountability and responsibility for your role in stuff. When you start taking accountability for your role in stuff, let me tell you one of the first things you realize. You realize that it is impossible to be healed and mean at the same time.
Oh my God.
This is where I'm going to lose some of y'all. Doc, that's just my personality, Doc. That's just, I'm a Cancer. I'm a Capricorn. I'm a Gemini. I'm a Taurus. That's just my personality, Doc. No. You can't be healed and mean at the same time. You know why? Because when you really heal and you're operating in accountability and self-awareness, that's like walking around with a mirror in your face. And when you're walking around with a mirror in front of your face, it's hard for you to be mean towards people without seeing you first. I can just read some of your posts and how some of you talk to folks and tell you ain't doing no work. Because if you're doing this healing work, ain't no way you would be as mean as you are and be able to claim you healed at the same time. You're not. Y'all not mean. Y'all not healed. This is why I don't ascribe to all of this toxic culture, relationship, toxic culture, narrative stuff that's out there, because some of y'all ascribe to that. It's got a lot of you men walking around thinking that a healed man is supposed to be mean and stern and not be flexible and his way or no way, which is foolishness. And a lot of you women thinking that you're supposed to be stuck up, you're going to have it your way, y'all favorite phrase, but you difficult and got an incredible attitude. And that's what you get when you listen to people who teach one thing and do something else.
Oh my God.
Can I be honest? There was a time in my young life where I thought a woman being mean was attractive. Just being honest. I don't mind being honest and telling part of my story. There was a time in my life when I was younger that I thought when a woman was a little mean, that was kind of like, that was attractive. That was, that was sexy. No different than some of you women that still think that dudes being a thug is attractive. It ain't no difference. But once I healed and grew, I realized that it's impossible for you to be healed and mean at the same time. You can't be healed and mean at the same time. I tell you something else you can't be healed and at the same time either. You can't be healed and stubborn at the same time.
Oh my God.
You can't be healed and dishonest at the same time.
Oh my God.
You can't be healed and rude at the same time.
Oh my God.
I literally, where was I? I was at a restaurant today with my kids. I just flown in and picked up my kids and told their mom, take them to go get, some dinner before, we ran home. So they were waiting on me when I got to their mom's, and we went to this dinner, this little restaurant that they like to go to. And the lady comes over, and I actually walked in. And when I walked in, I went right to the restroom, and I told the kids, to order my drink, the appetizer. We typically get the same thing every time we go there. And I went to the restroom. So when I came back, my kids were laughing. I said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Y'all order?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "What are y'all laughing at?" And they were like, "Daddy, she was just mean. Like, she just came over here and said, 'What y'all want?'" I said, "She didn't speak." I know. She just came over here and said, "What y'all want?" Now, I knew they were telling the truth because we've had this particular waitress in this restaurant before. This is one of their favorite restaurants. And people who can do enlightenment level healing are people that do real work. And that's a great question, Robin. And I want to talk about that. Because if you're a follower of my work, I'm going to get back to my story, but let me just say this quick. If you're a follower of my work, you recognize that I believe in words like discipline, commitment, consistency, repetition. Right? You guys are learning from someone who didn't just wake up doing this, who spent 2.5 years journaled every single day, who for the last 4 years takes a cold shower every single morning, meditates 30 minutes a day, gets up 4 a.m. Monday through Friday. When you want to operate on enlightenment level healing, you got to do enlightenment level work.
Oh my God.
And everybody want to be enlightened and healed until it's time to do some work. Y'all got what I'm saying here? So we were in the restaurant. We were in a restaurant, and so they told me this. So the lady comes back, and sure enough, she just walks over, stands in front of the table, holds. Where's my little book? I'm gonna act like this is the little thing that you take orders on. Stands in front of the table, holds her book like this with a pen, and just looks. I looked at my kids. They looked at me like, oh God, this is about to be bad. I looked at her and said, can I help you? My kids started laughing. They were chuckling. I looked at the lady and said, can I help you? She said, you know what you'd like to order? I said, oh, that's why you were standing there? Because when you do this healing work, I discovered one of the reasons why I knew I was healed, besides the ability to apologize, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But besides the ability to be willing to just be open to apologize, one of the reasons why I knew I was healed for real is that I found my tolerance level to get real low. I got a real low tolerance level for foolishness. And one of the signs that you know you're doing this healing work for real is when you have a low tolerance level for foolishness, especially ignorant foolishness. Like standing in front of the table in front of me and my kids, holding your book, just looking at us. I looked at her twice and said, what you want? Why? Because I don't get up every morning at 4 o'clock every day, praying, meditating, working out, journaling, reading. I don't do this stuff every day to be handled any kind of way. And that's how I know some of y'all ain't doing no work. You claim you want to be healed, but you let people handle you any kind of way. And that's because you ain't got no discipline, commitment, or consistency to handle anything otherwise.
Oh my God.
When I go to Burger King, I don't act like I'm at Ruth's Chris. I act like I'm at Burger King. And some of you want people to act like they're at Ruth's Chris when they handling you, but you showing up like Burger King. I'm not saying people have to be perfect. None of us are. I'm not saying you have to be perfect. But there's some minimum basic things that ought to be present. We're going to talk about this in a second. So I'm just telling you, you can't be healed and mean. You ain't going to be healed and stubborn. You ain't going to be healed and rude. You're not going to be healed in a doormat. Which means for all of you people that are people pleasers, that let people run over you, step all over you, you're not healed. I don't care what your pastor told you, because your pastor said turn the other cheek, and that's not what it said. That is not the context that it said. And I'm not about to give y'all a Bible study, even though if you follow me anytime, you know I can. Mm-mm. And some of you are just people pleasers and let folks just walk and run right all over you. And you even put God on it. Well, that's how God told us to be. It's wild out here. Ain't no way you a people pleaser and you a doormat at the same time. Because being healed gives you the power to have boundaries and stand up for yourself. Being healed gives you the power to have boundaries and stand up for yourself. Even if those boundaries cause you to miss people that you love, cause you to lose people that you love, you can still love them, care about them, want the best for them, but you're going to have boundaries in place to ensure things like mutual respect are in place. This is how I know many of y'all ain't doing the work. You just want to be married. You just want to look happy on social media. And that's the era that we're in. And this is why this is one of the most superficial generations and times we've ever lived in. Because once we get past most of your filters, once we get past most of those lobster claws on your eyelids, once we get past all of this superficial stuff, dudes be using filters too. I ain't talking about one gender. Once we get past all of that stuff and break people down, most people don't have the inner substance to match their outer appearance. It is rare that you meet people, unless they're doing this work, who are just as good inside as they are outside. And I'm going to tell you, of all of the people that I met this weekend or this past couple of days, when I was meeting people and continue to hear, wow, you got real energy in person. What did you think you was going to get? I know some of your other content creators say all of this stuff, but behind closed doors, they crazy. Some of us do this work on a daily basis for real. So what's the connection then between apologizing and letting go? This making sense? Y'all supporting the show? Huh? Thank you, Chevelle. Appreciate you. What's the connection between apologizing and letting go? This becomes a matter of control. Control. I want you to write that word down in all capital letters. Control. The ability to apologize, the ability to let go becomes a matter of control. And I'm going to tell you something many of you better master this year, and you better master fast. Control what you can, let go of what you can't. Y'all writing that down? Hurry up. Control what you can, let go of what you can't. I just explained it. Y'all are so impatient. Control what you can, let go of what you can't. Control what you can, let go of what you can't. That is going to alleviate 80 to 90% of your problems. That will also empower you to be able to apologize, own when you're wrong, own your mistakes, own your challenges. Because you recognize that your sole responsibility is the things you can control. That's it. Control what you can, let go of what you can't. It's that simple. Why? Because nothing is more desperate than force. Y'all writing that down? I'm giving y'all nuggets like crazy. Record this, share. Hurry, y'all. We right under 700 viewers. Let's get 300 more to get to 1,000. Nothing is more desperate than force. Force. Anytime you try to force anything, you're operating in desperation. When you try to force an apology, you're operating in desperation. You can't make people apologize if they don't have the self-awareness to realize something wrong. You can't make people own stuff if they don't have the clarity to realize that something's wrong with them. Some of you stress yourself out over the holidays at Christmas parties with your family, trying to get folks who have been lying to themselves for years to be honest with you. How? I told my clients, I had to tell some of my clients that I couldn't see them because I didn't have the time to see them. I had to see my family. And I had to tell them to apply the things that I've taught them. And one of the things that I've taught me to my clients is understanding that force equals desperation. Whether you're trying to force somebody to apologize, you're trying to force somebody's behavior, you're trying to force somebody to love you. Anything involving force also involves desperation. They're like first cousins. They're like first cousins. So you don't have to force anything. Understand the power. Understand the power of force and how force brings you to this place called desperation. When you recognize that, and you recognize how force is connected to control, thank you, Sparkling Jewel, I appreciate you. And you recognize that force is connected to control, here's something else you realize. You realize that you have to learn how to respect yourself enough not to be taken for granted. I want you to put that in the comments now. Respect yourself enough to not be taken for granted. Respect yourself enough to not be taken for granted. You can be okay if they take you for anything but for granted. They can take you for crazy. They can take you for too nice. They can take you for too kind. They can take you for mean. They can take you for too rigid. They can take you for too demanding. They can take you for too accountable. They can take you for too strict. They can take you for you don't play no games. But don't you dare let them take you for granted. And the only way you don't allow people to take you for granted is if you respect yourself enough not to be taken for granted. And you can't even respect yourself enough to not be taken for granted if you're not operating in self-awareness. Because a lot of you are whining about people taking you for granted, but you're not doing the work. You're not even operating in the discipline and commitment and consistency necessary to become the best version of you. How you think people are going to treat you? I just told y'all. Why would y'all expect somebody to walk in McDonald's and act like they at Ruth's Chris? You at McDonald's, sis. You can ask them to make your burger off the broiler and you're going to still be at McDonald's.
Oh my God.
You can ask them to make your fries fresh and hot. You're still going to be in McDonald's.
Oh my God.
And that's because many of us want people to not take us for granted, but we're not even taking ourselves seriously. And let me tell you what freed me. What freed me was when I stopped getting offended by people who don't even take themselves seriously. I remember going through my divorce several years ago, one of the most challenging times of my life, and all kinds of things were flying in my direction, mentally and emotionally, all over the place. But then I realized something. I can't afford to get offended by people who don't even take themselves for granted. Seriously. And some of y'all out here getting offended by people who don't even take themselves seriously. Look at their work. Look at how they treat themselves. Look at the work they do on themselves. So we got to stop that. And this gets you to the place of helping you realize that you can't control everything. I'm going to deal a lot with control this year because I'm going to teach you how to relinquish control in your life so that you can have the most control in your life. This is a spiritual principle that's so much higher than many of your mental capacities if you're not doing this work. People are going to think you crazy if they're not doing this kind of work, but you don't even realize that the greatest space of control is operating with no control. No, I don't want to be in control of everything in my life. I don't. And I definitely don't want to be in control of the people in my life. I ain't no pimp. Like, I'm not no pimp. Come to kids, love, whatever. I'm not. I want to be in control of nothing. So you understand the power and the influence of control when it comes to apologizing, letting go. When it comes to force, when it comes to letting go. When it comes to respect, when it comes to letting go. And you move accordingly. And this is what I know for a fact, that when you're operating in this space and you're engaging with other healed people, when you are engaging with other healed people, this is a very powerful thing, because a healthy person can, in a healthy way, acknowledge the void that you create by not being in their life. I've had healthy people not in my life, and when they weren't in my life, I could feel the void and I could acknowledge it in a healthy way, because when you are healthy, you can acknowledge when another healthy person is no longer in your life and it has created a void. And it does not make you deficient. It doesn't make you the boogeyman or boogie woman. It makes you honest. Healthy people can genuinely acknowledge the void of your absence. You ready for this, though? Unhealthy people will try to take your absence and create a narrative that feeds their dysfunction. I don't have time to deal with this, but this is all connected to what I'm trying to teach tonight. You don't believe it? You don't believe this? If you put up boundaries in your life and that boundary negatively impacts an unhealthy person will try to create a narrative surrounding that boundary that feeds their dysfunction, instead of embracing a healthy truth that we all need boundaries. I feel like I'm talking way up here, and I should save this for Subscriber Monday. Has anybody good? So clearly I'm not talking to myself. I've experienced that. This is absolutely true. I've been there. Soundboard, please. Good.
Oh my God.
Okay? Right. Why is that important? Because even if you're in that position, you position yourself to understand your job ain't even to control narratives. You want to know another sign you healed? You ready? Another sign that you're healed is when you stop trying to control narratives. Let me tell you something. And everybody can't say this because everybody really don't believe this, but this is the truth. You are absolutely healed when you can live with the story that's being told. Mm-mm. Not going out here defending myself to folks that don't even have my work ethic, my discipline, my commitment to this work. We're not even in the same stratosphere. I told y'all last year, and I'm gonna say it again this year a lot to just really make people get pissed off. You got to start living your life realizing that when you're doing this work, you're actually better than people. And I know your mama, your daddy, your pastor, your principal, your teacher told y'all that everybody was a winner, that everybody got first place. They all lied to you. Second place is not the same as first place. Second place is first loser. There is such a thing as winning and losing. There's such a thing as doing work and not doing none at all. And there's also such a thing as you being better than people who ain't doing the work. So I rub a lot of people wrong, and I realize I do, because I'm not about to sit around here and act like we on the same level and even playing field when you're not doing the work that I'm doing. I'm not talking about this counseling work. I'm talking about the daily inner work that even Doc does. Doc not telling you to do the work, and I'm not doing it. Like some of your other content creators and counselors. No, we not all the same. If you're not getting up at 4 every day, praying, meditating, journaling, working out, 30 minutes of meditation, cold showers, working on emotional regulation control, feeding yourself the right things, not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, we not on the same page. We not. And here's the gag. The gag is, if you've ever done this work and you're around someone who does it, you can feel it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, cold showers, and even the cold showers ain't enough. I've been taking cold showers now for like 4 or 5 years. It is so consistent for me that when I went and did a cold plunge out of the country and they put me in the water, they said, stay in here for about 20 seconds if you can handle it and then come out. I stayed in there for 4 minutes. My body's used to it. Doc, where you get all that energy from? Where you get all that discipline from? Because I don't just talk about this stuff, I do it. And I'm going to just tell y'all something. When you've been around people who do this work, you can feel it. The energy's different. You know, you be hearing stuff like, I don't know what it is about you. There's something different. They don't be talking about your outfit, them lobster claws that's coming off your face. They don't be talking about none of that stuff. Even if you look nice, that's great if you do. Nothing wrong with it if you do. But no, they can feel, wow, you got a different kind of energy. And let me tell you something. When you do this work and you're around people who ain't doing it, you can feel that too. If you have not researched the benefits of cold showers, I highly recommend you look it up. Cold showers are very beneficial to you, and it has a lot of different health benefits as it relates to your body to be able to recover. For me to be able to recover from working out, it's also good for your nervous system as well. Contrast showers work just as well. A contrast shower is very similar. You obviously bathe in hot water. You can bathe in hot water, and then the last 4 or 5 minutes, cut the water just ice cold and just stand in the water. They work just as fine as well. I'm looking now into getting me a tub on my deck and putting ice water in there and doing an ice plunge at least 3 or 4 times a week, because cold showers ain't enough. Hey, y'all, do me a favor. Type in the comments one of my favorite words. It starts with an L. Who knows what it is? Come on, Inspire Nation. What I'm about to tell you to type. There it is. TikTok got it. What's the L word? It ain't love. Prayer Base said love. Levels. There's levels to this. And a whole lot of people that ain't doing the work gonna take your work and call you arrogant because you talk like this. I've been called that too. I've heard worse from better. I don't take it personal. I've heard worse from better. But when somebody who ain't doing the work call me arrogant, that's like somebody that's never been to Ruth's Chris getting mad because I like to go to Ruth's Chris. So you only call some names when you're doing this work. But that's all right. There are levels. And when you do this work, you have a right to believe you in a different level. We not all the same. And I know this is bothering some of y'all, and that's why I keep repeating it. In my former life, I was an agitator. Maple and ash? Where's that at, Gretchen? Maple and ash. I've heard of that. Where's maple and ash? Maple in Arizona. Okay, I'm putting that on my list for sure. I almost went to Arizona for New Year's, and Chicago. I almost went to Arizona for New Year's. I'm gonna try that. Chicago. Somebody's saying Chicago as well on Instagram. I'm gonna try that. I almost went to Arizona. I'm serious. I am better. I'm better than most people. And here's the breaking news. Many of y'all better than most people too when you're doing this work. And part of doing this work is recognizing that in order to have genuine connections with people, you have to own the power of apologizing. I want you to write that down. In order to have genuine connections with people, you have to embrace the power of apologizing. Because when you apologize, it might salvage the connection. It might not be enough to salvage the connection. But at least you will be living a genuine life by recognizing the power of apologizing and what that does to how we connect with other people. And I'm just going to tell you, this generation sucks at relationships and connections because we suck at communication.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you what we don't know how to do. Because I've been guilty. Thank God I'm healed. Ooh. We don't know how to talk. This generation sucks at talking. We think screaming at each other is talking, yelling at each other is talking. Oh, we think debating is talking. Do y'all know I've turned down some podcast appearances because I've been asked to come on there and debate people? I'm not debating with people who don't do this work. For what? What I look like? What I look like getting out here debating with folks about being healed who don't even believe in healing? What kind of idiot do y'all think I am? No. I'm not. No, we're not even on the same playing field. And what do you see on most social media? People just going back and forth, shooting shade. Read the comments. Just read the comments. Read the comments. Instead of us being able to talk through differences, we can't even get through differences in comment sections. This generation is doomed.
Oh my God.
Doc, why you do healing work? Read the comments. You can't even look at a video you don't like, and instead of just disagreeing with what's said, you start hurling insults at the people that's saying whatever it is. I'm not just talking about my videos. I'm over it. Again, the comment section is for y'all. I'll pin an ignorant comment every now and then, might put an eagle on there. I'll move on to the next thing. Most times I don't even see the comments. But just look at the comments. We don't know how to talk. And here's the reality. Most of you, this generation sucks at relationships because we suck at communication. We suck at communication. We hate hard conversations. Some of you would not know what to do with a man or woman who actually knows how to have a hard communication, hard talk. You're not used to it. You're not used to having hard conversations. You would not know what to do with a person who wanted to have a hard conversation with you to save your life. You know why? Because this generation just talks. This generation doesn't want real relationships because when you put something healed in front of them, they freeze like the ice in your driveway.
Oh my God.
Only thing you can talk about is what your sign is, your shape, and where you travel. This generation can't communicate. This generation cannot talk. This generation cannot ask and answer hard questions. Can't. And that's why this generation has no substance. You look great on Instagram. You look great on TikTok. Fellas, whether you're wearing that suit that's too tight because it's too small for you, or ladies, whether you got them lobster claws popping out your forehead and a million filters. You look great on social media, but you have no substance. And that's why I say this work is levels. Some of us are better than many of you. And that offends people. But that's why my clients are empowered to do great stuff. Because when you do this healing work, you realize that when you on Ruth's Chris level, you act like it. When you're sitting in first class, you don't pay attention to what they're doing back there on seat 32C. I was getting on the plane. I was getting on the plane heading to New Orleans, and a lady got on the plane. So I'm like, Dr. Tal. I said, yeah. So, how are you? I said, great. I stood up. I was sitting in seat 3C, and I stood up and I hugged her. And she tickled me. She said, I just really enjoy your work. You are just so honest and just so strong. And I'm just honored to meet you in person. I can see your strength. She didn't realize I was as tall as I am. She said, how tall are you? I said, I'm 6'3". So I did not know you that tall. Yeah. I didn't realize your strength and just how honest. She said, but let me tell you something. She said, guess where I'm sitting? I said, man, where you sitting? She said, I'm sitting way in the back of the plane. I said, why you tell me that? She said, guess what I know you ain't going to be doing? I said, what? She said, looking back there at me. I said, I sure ain't. Why am I staring back there at seat 32C when I'm in seat 3C? Coach ain't got nothing to do with first class. When you know what level you on, you start acting like it. And that's how I know this generation really just talks. This generation don't want no healed relationships. Y'all talk like you do. This generation don't want to be married. You just talking like you do. You know why? Because you're not counting the cost. If you really want to heal a relationship, you got to fix your attitude. You got to have some substance. You got to be able to answer some hard questions and have some hard conversations. You got to be accountable, reliable. I'm going to get into those words in just a second. You got to learn the art of apologizing. This generation just talks a lot. We're the talking generation. We're the meme posting generation. We ain't the counting your costs. We ain't the counting the costs generation. We talk a big game until something healed slaps you in your face and you don't know what to do with it. I told y'all a couple of lies ago. Many of you already missed the opportunity at your husband and your wife. You know why? Because you talked all this heal stuff. They showed up. And then what did you do? You realized, well, I don't know if I can do all of that. Okay. Then stop saying you want to heal marriage or heal relationship. Stop lying to yourself. No wonder you can't apologize. You can't be honest.
Oh my God.
See, many of you have never had a counselor talk to you like this. And this is why many of you have been in therapy for years and you have not changed. It don't take my clients long. And this is why they say I might be one of the best in the business. We hate the truth. We hate hard conversations. Instead of you having a hard conversation with somebody, you know what some of us do? I laughed today. I was thinking about something today on the plane. It just really tickled me. Is that my smoke alarm? It just really tickled me. I laughed about something on the plane today, about this generation. I laughed so hard. I laughed because I thought about the fact that this generation would rather post a story and throw shade towards somebody they got a problem with, then pick up the phone.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that generation that claim to be the realist, but when you got a problem, you would rather throw shade in a IG story or TikTok story than pick up the phone and tell people what your problem is.
Oh my God.
That generation. And it's because you don't really want genuine connections. You want it for the gram. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. And this is the same generation that when they offend, they can't apologize. And some of you aren't going to heal until you get all of that crap out of you, so that you can get to a place where you recognize what apologizing requires. And it requires the ability to talk and the ability to count the cost. Nah, y'all gonna go. You would rather throw shade in your story, on your story, than address your challenges with the people you got a problem with. It is passive aggression at its finest. It is what I call digital passive aggressive behavior. Digital passive aggression. And then you claim you want a healed woman. Dudes, you don't want no healed woman. Because dudes be out here, dudes be worse than women.
Oh my God.
Dudes be worse than women. That instead of that dude just picking up the phone and talking to you and telling you what his problem is, he posting and throwing off too. This is why I can't have a lot of close relationships, because I post about everything. Relationship stuff. I create posts. I post stuff that I think is funny. You'll never know what's going on in my personal life. Watching my timeline. And so anybody who's going to be in my life, in a relationship especially, is going to have to be secure. We can be having problems. I'm not about to post to you. I'm a master communicator. I will talk so much until it get on your nerves. And then after I get on your nerves and you mad at me and you don't want to talk to me, when I get near you, I'm going to kiss all over you. You're going to be like, get off me. I'm going to kiss all over you. And you'll be like, no, leave me alone. And I'm going to just kiss all over you. And you're going to be just irritated. And then I'm going to start tickling you. And you'll be like, stop. And you'll be trying not to laugh. And I'm going to keep on tickling you. And then eventually you're going to laugh. And then we're going to make up. And some of y'all ain't ready for that either, because you ain't healed enough for it. Some of y'all wouldn't know what to do with that if it slapped you in your face. Libra. I know where the men are. The men don't want to hear this, because I ain't Kevin Samuels and telling them that they always right and y'all always wrong. Everybody wrong. I think women crazy. I think men crazy. That's why they ain't here. But you got to learn how to communicate, which means a man's got to be humble enough to apologize. A woman's got to be humble enough to apologize. A man's got to be humble enough to accept the apology. A woman's got to be humble enough to accept it too. This is healing work. So let's talk about what genuine apologies and connections look like. This helping y'all? I'm almost done. All right, Bobby Pearson said I'm here. All right, I know some men in here. That's right. I told you. I'm on some of these cities. I think I want to do like a matchmaking thing. I want to connect y'all. Some of y'all women up with some of these men out here. I want to connect y'all. Now, look, I'm not liable. I had to get on somebody a little while ago who was trying to put me in something I ain't had nothing to do with. Look, people be putting your name on stuff and you don't even know them like that. I'm not liable for how they show up, after y'all get together. It's the vetting process that I'm worried about. But I would love to do a dating show. I would love to. I think I would be a great host. and I'd be a decent matchmaker. But I'm gonna tell you what, it's gonna have be some hard conversations. And I don't care about your shape, and I don't care about what your sign is, and I don't care about how many countries you travel to, and I don't care about your toxic trait. I mean, that matters, but that's all basic elementary stuff. Let's talk a little bit about your childhood, your parents' parenting style, and how that's influenced your emotional intelligence. If somebody asked some of y'all that on a date, you wouldn't know what to do. You'd throw up. If I looked some of y'all on a date and said, tell me about how you were raised, who raised you, and how that impacted your ability to be emotionally stable. Oh my God. Oh my God. Levels, y'all. Levels. It's true. Some of y'all wouldn't know what to do because you ain't never been asked that. What's your size? Are you fine? Are you fit? Are you friendly? Are you a 6'6" dude? 6 foot, 6 figures, 6 inches. Whoop-de-doo.
Oh my God.
It's just, I mean, it's just dumb out here. Y'all, this is just dumb. And I get it, because that's a level. 32C on the plane. I'm not sitting back there. I can't relate. And the reality is, many of you would not have an answer for that question because you've never been forced to think about it because you ain't doing this work. Most of the dudes you dating can't even spell emotional intelligence.
Oh my God.
Most of the women you dating can't even spell emotional intelligence. They cute though. They fit, they fine, they friendly. They 6 feet, 6 figures, and 6 inches. It's crazy out here. This is crazy. Yeah, they cute. That's all that matters to some of y'all. But there's even a level of healing where honestly, you don't mind having somebody fine. Listen, I'm not telling you to get somebody that's not fine. Being cute and fine is a very subjective thing. Beauty is really in the eye of the beholder. People have preferences. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you being with people you are attractive to. You should be. But let me tell you something. You even get to a place in your healing journey where cute is fine, but you need a little bit more than cute. In this work, I see cute every day. I mean, it's nice to look at, but I ain't that impressed. Besides all of that, what else you got? So let's talk about what genuine apologies look like. Because many of you don't even realize that you're going to be able to let go of some things in your life when you just learn how to apologize. And apologizing looks like taking ownership. It looks like owning your role in situations. Y'all like and share the video. We're up to, let me do the math, 4, 6, 27. We're up to about 760 viewers. Let's get this up to 1,000. Let's talk about what genuine apologies look like. Go ahead and get your big piece of paper. Y'all know we're going to always do a diagram. Many of you are visual learners. I like to teach this way. Let's talk about what a genuine apologies look like. Let's talk about what genuine apologies look like. It ain't gonna be the stuff that you think about. I'm not gonna give you a formula for how to apologize, but I'm gonna give you some things that you need to work on that not only will help your ability to apologize, it's gonna help your ability to heal. And it's also gonna help something else that you all are going to be shocked when you see the correlation. So I'm not gonna give you a formula for, say this, say that, say this. You gotta include. I'm gonna tell you some components of what genuine apologies look like. Ready? Let's start with this word. Accountability. That's like a foreign word to many of y'all. Accountability. A genuine apology looks like being accountable. It looks like being accountable for your actions. I'm not going to give y'all no formula for specific things to say. When I give you this list, you're going to know what to say. Because if I'm being accountable and I apologize, then you don't have to worry about me being things like clear or things like specific or things like straightforward or things like honest or things like genuine. No. Accountability, it's a one package deal. You get all that other stuff when you're accountable. It's not hard, y'all. Let's talk about something else that apologies look like. You ready? Apologies look like respect. I don't care how you try to slice and dice this, you're not going to heal from no situation where respect is not involved. You're not. Well, Doc, what if they're disrespecting me? Then you got to learn how to respect yourself. Genuine apologies look like respect, mutual respect, self-respect, respecting the other person. If you've offended somebody else, respect them enough, even if you don't like them no more, respect them enough to apologize. This is why, unless babies, mamas, and daddies still like each other, or there's a bunch of dysfunction, I don't see why two people that split up can't still be respectful to one another. My children's mother and I have a wonderful relationship. We co-parent really well. I would be a hypocrite, like other content creators, to tell you this stuff, and my baby's mother can't stand me, and my kids can't stand me either. You can Google me. I know. This is why I don't get invited to many platforms. My mouth lethal. You know why? Because just because something didn't work out with somebody doesn't mean there can't be mutual respect. That's called being an adult, a grown up, and a healed grown up at that. The only reason why two people that had broke up, especially if you had children involved, can't get along is because one or the other either still holding on to love or holding on to offense.
Oh my God.
I'm going to say it again. They're either holding on to love or they're holding on to offense or they're holding on to both. Or you're holding on to one or both. Genuine apologies also look like responsibility. Genuine apologies look like responsibility. When you're healed and operating in a healed space, you understand the power and the impact of being responsible. I own my behavior. I own my behavior. My behavior is not always perfect. And when my behavior is not perfect, I own when it is not perfect. Y'all, this stuff ain't none of this stuff about being perfect. You don't see perfect on the list, do you? If you were perfect, you wouldn't need to apologize. This has nothing to do with perfection. We are all going to make mistakes. But when you recognize the power of responsibility, it's easy to apologize. Even if they said something to piss you off, can't nobody make you do nothing. You own your behavior. They cheated, so you decided to go cheat because they cheated. They didn't make you cheat. You cheated. Responsibility. You own your behavior. And when you recognize I own my behavior, it's easy to give a genuine apology. Hey, I don't agree with what you said or what you did, but that was no reason for me to say what I had to say or do what I did or respond the way I responded or act the way I acted. That goes a long way. Even when a person has offended you and they know they have, when you hear a person say that to you, listen, I didn't agree with what you said, but that is no reason why I should have responded the way I responded, did things the way I did it, acted the way I acted. You know what? It takes some of the sting off that offense.
Oh my God.
Genuine apologies. Oh, y'all hate this word right here. It's like a first cousin to responsibility. Genuine apologies look like ownership. Genuine apologies look like ownership. Ownership. Taking ownership for your actions, taking ownership for how you show up, taking ownership for your behavior, taking ownership for what you do and what you don't do. This is why I know many of y'all ain't healed, because you can't apologize. And I know you can't apologize because many of you don't have these qualities. But you wait till I get to the end of this list and I tell you something else you ain't got. Y'all gonna be floored. You cannot be genuinely healed if you can't do these things. If you can't do these things, you can't apologize. You're not healed if you ain't accountable. I don't care who you are. You're not healed if you don't understand respect, mutual respect, self-respect, respect for other people. You're not healed if you don't understand responsibility. You're not healed if you don't understand ownership. Let me give you another word. You're not healed if you don't understand humility. You know, it takes being humble to be able to admit that you're wrong. Some of y'all so arrogant. Some of y'all are so arrogant that it's impossible for you to see your role in situations that have occurred in your life. Because this is the culture that finds great convenience in being able to point instead of being able to own. We're master pointers. Some of you should have a PhD in pointing your fingers at other people.
Oh my God.
How you feeling? How's your back feeling? It's okay? You still using the back? Okay. I'll check on you in a little bit. Some of you are masters at being able to point the finger at other people. Thank you, Chevelle. Takes humility. You got to be humble enough to acknowledge your role in stuff. And you would think this stuff, I hear you, somebody said on YouTube, you would think this stuff is obvious. It's not. This stuff is not. This is why many of you have never received an apology from people that you're close to, because they don't have none of these characteristics. Your ex ain't got none of these. Some of your mamas and daddies don't even have some of these characteristics right here. And you grew up as a kid thinking you was always wrong. You were always the problem because you had parents that couldn't even apologize. That's a different topic for a different day. Which is why when y'all having these dating questions, and when I give y'all these 100 questions that I'm gonna put in this little brief ebook that I'm gonna give you, you need to find out about how people were raised. Because if a person was raised and never got an apology from their parent, how the heck do you think they're gonna apologize to you? Y'all don't even ask, do you? Here's another bonus question I'm gonna give some of you that are dating that want some substantive questions. Tell me about a time your parent or guardian offended you and they apologized. Why would I ask that question? Because it gives you some insight to their exposure as a child to some of these words. You're welcome. Y'all ain't never thought about no questions like that on no date, have you? I told y'all, it's levels to this. That's a free one. Write it down. Tell me about, repeat the question. Tell me about a time a parent or guardian offended you as a child and they apologized. And a lot of people are going to be like, not all, because some of us I had great parents. My parents apologized when they, made decisions or things didn't come out right. But in my eyes, I have as close to the greatest, most perfect set of parents that can exist if there's such a thing. So I can't relate to this. But y'all better really ask this question. Now, if they can't remember or it ain't never happened, then here's the follow-up question. When was a time you offended somebody and you apologized? Why is that important? Because if they can't remember when they've been apologized to, hopefully they can remember when they apologized. If they can't remember that, guess what? You got a problem. Is this making sense? That's the follow-up question. If they don't have a answer to the parent guardian question, you get where I'm going? Because it speaks to humility. Humility is taught to us, y'all. As kids, we come out the womb thinking everything that we see that we ought to have. Everything that's in front of us should belong to us. You come out as a baby, you want everything. It takes a parent or guardian to say, nope, that don't belong to you. You can't have that. Or you can have this, but at this time, at this cadence, etc. It helps to build humility. That's a real powerful question. You're welcome. I'm going to give you one more, and then I'm going to wrap this up. And I'm going to draw a correlation that's going to floor all of you. Another thing that's included with genuine apologies is this word that I love called vulnerability that some of you have never experienced. And some of you don't have. Vulnerability. Vulnerability. How do you define vulnerability, Doc? Y'all know I have a custom definition for the word vulnerability. It's when your belief and your ability to recover is more than your fear of being let down. Y'all have heard this definition before. It's my definition. You ain't going to find it in no dictionary. I define vulnerability as a belief in your ability to recover more than your fear of being let down. When a person says to me they're vulnerable, it ain't the stuff that y'all see in these movies. That ain't it. My definition of vulnerability is when I say to somebody, yeah, I want to be vulnerable with you. What I'm saying to you is I believe in my ability to recover more than my fear of you doing something to me. And you know what? That takes that word and puts it on a different planet. Some of y'all think vulnerability is just being honest. Well, I'm being vulnerable right now. What that mean? I'm telling you the truth. That ain't vulnerability. That's not vulnerability. When I say I'm being vulnerable with somebody, if it's somebody I like, love, and I'm being vulnerable, when I say, hey, babe, I want to be vulnerable with you. What I'm saying to you is, sweetheart, I trust in my ability to recover more than my fear of you doing something to me. And if you do something to me, I believe I can recover. So I'm okay. That's vulnerability. And when you have that, it is easy for you to apologize. It is easy for you to apologize when you have vulnerability. When you're walking in a space where you believe in your ability to recover more than your fear of being let down. Next level stuff. If a person can be accountable, operate in respect, responsibility, ownership, humility, and vulnerability, they are positioning themselves to be able to apologize. Watch this though. If you don't embrace accountability, if you don't embrace respect, if you don't embrace responsibility, if you don't embrace ownership, if you don't embrace humility, and if you don't embrace vulnerability, not only are you incapable of offering genuine apologies, guess what else you can't have? You can't have genuine apologies, and you can't have genuine connections. Guess what, y'all? Guess what? Hit me like a sack of bricks. A lot of the same people that struggle to apologize also struggle with relationships. It makes sense. You ain't gonna have no connections if you ain't got none of this. This is why many of y'all struggling in relationships. This is why many of your relationships are failing. This is why you struggling to engage with people on your level because they ain't got this stuff. So not only can they not apologize, you can't even have a connection if they ain't accountable, respectful, responsible, take ownership, operate in humility, and understand vulnerability. And yes, that is my definition of vulnerability. So not only will a person be incapable of offering you this, they can't offer you this either. So why do we expect this from people who don't have none of this, and this is already struggling? If your connection is struggling because they don't have these things, you would be crazy to expect this. And what are y'all doing? Trying to let go of situations where people are not giving you this when they never had this. It ain't nothing to struggle to let go of, sweetie. Mm-mm. You need to be self-aware, honest about who they are, where they are, what they are doing. If they ain't got none of this, they can't do this. And that means this wasn't strong in the first place.
Oh my God.
Y'all making this way too complicated. The reason why I'm talking about this tonight is because if you want to learn how to let go, learn how to apologize. If you learn how to operate in genuine apologies, that comes with some things like being accountable, understanding respect and responsibility and ownership and humility and vulnerability. How simple is it? Did this make sense? This makes sense? Ain't that complicated, is it? And lo and behold, if you work on these things, watch this. If you work on your ability to be accountable and your ability to operate in respect and understand respect and mutual respect, and your ability to operate with in responsibility and ownership and humility and vulnerability, you do this stuff, not only will you be able to apologize, guess what gets better? Your connections do. You'll find yourself connecting with people on a much better level. You know why? Because y'all showing up at the table with all of this stuff together. Here, screenshot this. So when you go on your date this weekend, you can just pull this list out in your phone. So, baby, sweetheart, I think you beautiful. Man, I think you fine. But let's just I want to talk about a couple of words. Just let's do a rapid fire. Play a game. Make it real fun. Make it real fun. Let's play a rapid fire game. When I say this word, you got 3 seconds to tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Ready? All right. Accountability. I don't know. Respect. Most of them are not going to have an answer. Ask a healed person. This is an easy list. Doc, when it comes to accountability, what comes to your mind? Ownership. Respect. Care. Responsibility. Mutual. Ownership. Belonging. Humility. Being humble, not high-minded. Vulnerable. Ability and my ability to recover more than my fear of being let down. This is like practice. This ain't nothing. There's levels to this. And when you understand apologizing, you also by default understand healing. I believe this is going over some of y'all's head. You want the definition of vulnerability one more time? Yep, I'll give it to you. Y'all type it in the chat so everybody can have it. My definition of vulnerability. You're going to use it, quote me, or else it's plagiarism. It is the belief in your ability to recover more than your fear of being let down. I've taught clients this around the world. It's a game changer. You're going to know you healed when your belief in your ability to recover is greater than your fear of being let down. It is the $1 million definition that once you get there, you're indestructible. You don't mind taking risks, trying stuff. I don't mind trying new things. Look, you don't even mind shooting your shot. Let me help some of you healed folks. Because guess what? Healed folk get rejected all the time. Now, I think it's foolish. I think it's foolish for anybody to reject me, if I'm being honest with you. And some of you might call that arrogant. I call it honest. But healed people get rejected too. But you know why they ain't afraid to be rejected? Because they can operate in vulnerability. When you possess these things, you believe in your ability to recover more than your fear of being let down, which means you don't mind shooting your shot. Even if the shot gets blocked, even if the shot gets denied, you don't mind shooting it. You miss the shot, take the ball and go to another court and try to figure it out again. Because you know that what you're carrying is valuable. Are y'all getting what I'm saying? So you're going to know you're in a healed space when you can operate in a vulnerable space. You don't mind trying things, putting yourself out there. It's 2025. Some of you want husbands and wives. I want that for you. I would love for y'all, especially if my work has been beneficial, especially if you're a client. I got a couple of clients, former clients that are getting married this year. I got some wedding invitations. I plan on being on planes and being there. I'm coming. I would love to come to your wedding and celebrate and throw rice at you. But you're going to know you're moving in that direction when your ability to recover is greater than your fear of being let down. And you can't say that until you've done some of this work right here. This is making sense. Healed people get rejected every day. It's wild out here. And the unhealed people be racking them up. Healed people get rejected every day. But I get it. It costs a lot to sit in first class. I'm not sitting back there with them cold peanuts. I'm in the front with the hot towels, full course meals, international flights with the ones that lay down. That's where I'm at. I can't sit like this in seat 17E. I can't do it. It's fine. It ain't personal. I don't take it personal. Just know I'm not coming back there with the cold peanuts. And some of you need to feel that way when you've done this work. And to the broken and the unhealed, you sound arrogant. It's life. They'll be all right. But when you've done this work, you recognize what it costs to be who you are. Yeah, them cold peanuts is terrible. It's been many eons since I've had them. Them cold peanuts is terrible. And I can take that Shaw thing. Shaw said I'm bougie. I can take that. That's fine. But I like my peanuts warmed up. I like my free beverages. I like, my meals. I like, to lay down. I like that. I like the snack basket. Thank you, April. Yeah. Just being honest. You know why? Because I got this stuff right here. And I like that. Dr. Tar Gill, thank you so much, Dr. Tar, has a really good comment. It says people will make you believe that you have to be open to anything and everything. You're right. The bar is so low that it's in hell. The bar is that low that it's in hell. That people, when you got those kind of standards, I ain't eating no cold peanuts. I got to have a warm time. Folk would think you got the bar too high. No, you just sitting in seat 2E. You're not sitting in seat 32D next to the restroom with people standing in front of you like this, trying to get by you to use the bathroom. Uh-uh. Don't stand by me. In fact, y'all can't even come past this curtain up here unless you sit up here. Oh my God. You can say what you want to say. Absolutely not. Stay back there. I had a flight attendant. I'm going to share this with y'all, and then I got a quick announcement, and I'm going to let y'all go. I had a flight attendant on an international. I think I was going to the Caribbean. I think I went to Punta Cana. And I had a flight attendant get this guy together so bad, and it was so funny. I think I was sitting in like seat 3. It was in the aisle. I had to sit in the aisle. I can't sit inside. I'm 6'3". I was sitting on the aisle, and a guy moved the curtains because I guess the line in the back was too long for the bathroom. This is a true story. I guess it was too long. So he walked from his seat and opened the curtains and was walking to first class. And the flight attendant, the guy stopped and said, "Sir, what are you doing?" Said, "I'm coming up here to use the bathroom." You know what he said? He said, "You didn't pay to use that bathroom." Oh my God. True story. He said, "You didn't pay to use that bathroom." Now, that offends some of y'all because some of you come from the generation, we all a winner. No, we not. Because we're not all doing the work. We're not all putting in the work. We're not all winners. That man looked at that dude and said, "You didn't pay to use this bathroom, sir. You got to go back there." And that's how you got to feel when you're doing this work. If you paid to sit in first class, i.e., you doing this work, you being accountable, respectful, responsible, taking ownership, operating in humility, can't even read my handwriting, vulnerability. If you pay to do this work, then people that's going to sit up there got to do the same thing. In other words, got to count the cost. This makes sense to anybody? Now, real quick. Yeah, can't read my own handwriting. Is really wild. This makes sense. Now, real quick. Um, I will not have a video tomorrow. I had some content ready, but I'm not going to release it until next Friday. I'm just going to give myself a content break this week. But what will come out tomorrow is the tour flyer. All right. So here's the deal. Here's the deal, and this is a big deal. I need everybody to listen to me. This is a big deal. I need everybody to listen to me, and this is a big deal. The tour flyer will come out tomorrow. The tour is going to start in February. The window to sell tickets for that event is short. The first city is Atlanta, February the 8th. The venue has been solidified. I'm doing this different. Most people have cities booked out eons in advance. I'm not. I'm on the Chitlin circuit. Nobody knows me like that. I'm building this organically, right? And so I am, yes, Tiff, I got it. And I'm actually about to get into that, your message about your message. I'm about to speak on that. I'm on the Chitlin circuit. I don't have any big donors behind me yet. None of those things. It's coming. So the Atlanta venue was only 100 tickets. That's it. And that's a lot to me, if I'm being honest with you, because hopefully 100 people will come. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not arrogant, regardless of what people might think when they don't know me. I'm very humble. I'm very good at what I do. I make no mistake about that. But 100 people is just that. That's all I've got for Atlanta. The second city, I'm not sure about. It's going to be in March, but the whole goal is to do 10 cities in 10 months. So a city each month. All right. So Atlanta is going to be February. There's another city I've got in mind for March. I think I said it earlier was Houston, but I may change that to New Orleans in light of what has happened there. April is pretty set on being LA. That venue was solidified. I think May is DC. I don't remember the order of them, all the rest of them. Chicago is on the list. New York's on the list. Yeah, so it's going to be on the flyer tomorrow. Here's the thing. When it goes up tomorrow, I'm going to try something different. Right? And I want to share this publicly so that people understand my vision for the tour. I should have an assistant soon. You know, she and I talked earlier this week, just negotiating and working through some things. So I should have that soon. But here's the thing that I'm going to do. My goal is to create a team called the Inspire 12. There's only really one. There are three people that I've shared this with. One is a former client. I don't know if he's tuned in. And a friend. He's a great friend, but a former client. But it is to create something called the Inspire 12. And this is going to be a team of people that will eventually help me grow these speaking events to a large level. Like if you've talked to me personally, my goal is to be the first Black Tony Robbins, right? So, Tony Robbins fills up stadiums. He has hundreds of thousands of people there, that kind of thing. And I don't mind saying this out loud. I'm not worried about anybody stealing this. I mean, you can't steal what you ain't called to.
Oh my God.
But the goal is to have a team called the Inspire 12. And what I was going to do was use a person to manage each city, right? To manage all 10 of the cities, set up everything, logistics, da 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 da. But then an idea hit me. Well, I should put feelers out there in each city for people who may have like project management skills, who might want to work on that particular city. For instance, if you're in Chicago and you've got project management skills and you would like to be a volunteer, and maybe I'll have like 8 to 10 volunteers for that city, I'll have you submit information about your interest and then have you chosen as a volunteer. And then you team of 8 to 10 people work with me, my administrative staff, on managing that city. Does that make sense? Do the same thing for New York, same thing for LA, same thing for DC, but you've got different teams in different cities, Now, I'm giving somebody out here a blueprint to try to do what they want to do. All right. So I realize people still on social media all the time. Again, if you ain't called to do what I do, you'll never do it like I do it. No shade. It's just the truth.
Oh my God.
So that by the time the end of the tour is coming to an end, then you have people in these major cities that you've noticed their work. You can choose among these people to be a part of a larger team that will help you do larger events in the future. Y'all get what I'm saying? That said, when you see the flyer tomorrow, I'll have the email address up there. If you see your city and you're interested in volunteering in that city, I want you to re-email me. So I know, Tiffany, I know you personally because you moderate things like that. But I want you to re-email me if you have already and let me know what list you are interested in. I'm going to send you the survey. You can fill out the survey to let me know what list city you're interested in. I'll ask you to probably submit a resume too. Don't y'all take that personal. It's nothing wrong with having a desire, but I do want you to have a skill as well so that we can do this really well. Again, this is not going to be a huge tour. I think LA right now so far is my largest venue site. LA is a 400 seater. Oh God. Oh, is a 400 seater. But I do want you to have some skill because I want this to be executed really well. But I want to try to build community exactly through networking. I don't know anybody. Nobody support. I don't have a manager. I don't have an agent who can do this for me. I'm doing it. All right. Are y'all clear? I'm doing this. I don't have an agent. I don't have a manager. Nobody wants to manage me that I know of. Nobody wants to be my agent that I know of. If not, if you do, call me. I don't have any of that stuff. I'm building this organically. It'll be posted on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Oh, it's scary. I'm scared to death. Teacher said, if it don't scare you, it's not big. Oh, I'm scared to death. I ain't gonna lie to you. And I'm a great public speaker. Y'all gonna find that out. But I'm scared to death that I'm gonna have this and 5 people show up. Boy, and I'm gonna teach if I go to a city and 5 people there, I'm gonna teach to all 5 of y'all. I don't care. We just gonna have a good time, and I'm gonna talk to 5 of y'all like it's 5,000. All right. So I'm just being honest with you, but scared, absolutely scared. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am. But I want to try to build communities in all of these cities. We'll expand the tour as it goes into maybe even smaller cities too. But I want to build community in all of these cities and use you all based on your work, how things pan out. Consider maybe using you all to be a part of a much larger Inspire team. Does that make sense to everybody? Do you all understand the logic behind that? So I want to make sure that you understand what you see on the flyer tomorrow, right? Because I'm going to explain that. And if you're interested, I want you to do that. Also, if you are a business owner, you're part of a corporation or a company that wants to sponsor the tour, maybe you want to sponsor all 10 cities. Maybe you want to sponsor the tour in your particular city. You can be a corporate sponsor, small business owner. I have individual people that have talked about being individual donors. If you want to be an individual sponsor, you can do that as well. I'm going to have that information where you can reach out to me for a sponsorship package. It's already been created. I'll send that to you. We'd love to have sponsors in every city. It will allow us to do some greater things and really market it well. And really will be a benefit to the work that we do too. So that information will be out there as well. All right. So that's coming out tomorrow. I just need y'all to do me a favor, share the flyer, market it on your stories, tag me. And look, out of 10 cities, if I sold out 3 cities, I would be ecstatic. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. I would be ecstatic. All right. So that's coming out tomorrow. Fill out the survey if you're in that city. If you've got a resume, be prepared to submit it because I want you to do that as a part of this team. I intend to have volunteers in each city that not only have a desire and a passion for this work, but also have a skill set that are working together. We'll have meetings about those cities. Zoom meetings, and then I'm going to turn you loose, let you do it, trust you to make it happen, and we're going to just go from there, and we're going to figure it out as we go. I wish I had all the answers right now. I don't. This is in part a faith move as well, but I believe that is the direction that I'm going really soon. All right? Questions? Gosh. I love y'all. Did you support the show? If you did, I'll leave it up. I hope you all did. I hope this was helpful tonight. Happy New Year to all of you. I appreciate you. Look out for the flyer. Yes, do it scared is absolutely my mantra because I am afraid. And yep, all the ticket information. I think Atlanta tickets. I'll have those ready starting next week. And again, there's only 100 of them. That's it. Once they're gone, that's it. And that information will be shot out there. So I just need you guys to pay attention to my social media feed, stalk it because I'm going to put it out there like crazy and we're going to go from there. All right. It's called the Self-Awareness Tour. And yes, if you're interested in sponsoring, please consider doing that as well. Oh, I didn't mention. I'm anticipating perhaps maybe, depending on what I have in terms of submissions for every city. I may have a project manager that leads the other volunteers, and depending on what's the word? Depending on sponsor offers, I might be able to offer a stipend for the project manager lead of each city. It's going to be a small stipend unless I just get some absorbent amount of sponsorship packages. But let me just put this plainly. If I have 8 to 10 volunteers per city, one of those volunteers might be assigned the project manager based on their experience. If they are, then that project manager might receive a small stipend for helping to lead those other volunteers in that city. But everybody's going to be working collectively on a team, just as an incentive and a thank you for helping me pull this off. All right. Does that make sense? So that'll be a part of it. Yes, I'll have book merch. I'm hoping to have other tour merch as well. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot to get done. So yeah, we'll see. All right. All right, I'm done. I feel like I've talked a lot. It's 11:25. I appreciate all of you. Will it be posted on YouTube about the tickets? Yes, we're gonna post it on YouTube everywhere. Check out my shorts. I'll have it there. And we'll do it all. Am I planning a trip to any African country? Yes, Paulo. I've got a tentative accepted invitation to go to South Africa in October for a 3-day conference there. I don't have all the details yet. Stay tuned. But I should be. It's a 95%. It's 90% confirmed. South Africa in October for a 3-day conference event. Okay. Yes, still accepting some individual sessions. I think I have a few left. I've got a few client packages left. I'm going to start back scheduling next week. I have had 2 weeks off. Y'all don't fuss at me in my inbox because I haven't sent you links. I haven't sent anybody links. So nobody's ahead of you. You're in your space. I got you. But I have tried to take 2 weeks off to try to rest. All right. And so that's what I've done. We got Aggies in Johannesburg. Yeah, we definitely have Aggies in Johannesburg for sure. But yep, that's where I should be in October. All right. So if you're interested in doing some coaching, check out the links in my bio. Also, New Year healed me. Next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There is no live next Thursday. I'm going to be doing a 3-day course. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I want you to sign up. I think I got like 30 seats left. That's it. Check out the link in my bio. That's a 3-day course to help you start your year. 360-minute sessions is going to be powerful. If you can't make the times, the recordings are going to be available for 2 weeks after the 3 days. And so you'll have access to it as well. All right. All right. I'm done. I've talked enough. Have a good night. Love y'all. Appreciate you. And we'll see you soon. Peace and blessings. Like the video, share the video, y'all.